We're on.
Hello, this is George.
I'm Bonnie. And it's Tuesday night. Yay!
This is the tiny road to Yeshua. Now, remember, there's something about Facebook or something that's going on that kicks us off once a night. Maybe more if they don't like what we're saying. So if we go off, she keeps trying to put us back on, so just come back if you can.
Yep. Please join us.
It's been kind of interesting lately on the topic talks.
Yep.
Before we get to Eliyahu or Elijah, I found this on a little card that I wrote out the other day. Everybody's foundation will go through the fire on Judgment Day. Adonai's fire will reveal and refine what is worthy to remain in his kingdom and destroy what is not. Hello, Rich. Dallas. My goodness. 2 or 3 already.
Hey, Rich. Hey, Dallas. Hey, Sandy.
All right, now we're going to talk about Eliyahu, Elijah. And there's something else I wrote. I just added this. My sweetie doesn't know anything about it. 2 King talks about Eliyahu. 1:1 seems like after the king Achiv died, then Moab rebelled against Israel. Verse 2 states Moab's king was Ahaz. Ahazich. Ahaz. And he fell through a lattice window in the upper room in Shalom, Samaria nowadays. To show you how much the Moabites had rebelled against Adonai, the king sent messengers to consult Beelzebub. The closest English word to that is Beelzebub.
Hey, Tammy.
The god of Ekron, to ask the god if he would recover or not. That's kind of interesting to me. The angel of Adonai said, he spoke to Eliyahu the Tishbite, get up, interpret the messengers of the king of Samaria, and he was to ask them a very important question. Is it because there is no God in Israel that you're on your way to consult Beelzebub, the god of Ekron? That's interesting. One Hebrew tribe to another. Then Eliyahu tells them, Adonai says you will never leave the bed you are laying on. Go back and tell the king that. You will certainly die. Then Eliyahu walked away after he gave him that message. Now my thought was, here's a king that knows he's pretty bad off. He sends these messengers out to find a man of God. And he says, go back and tell your boss he's going to die. I just wonder how fast they ran back and told him. His messengers returned and told the king the message. Then the king asked them an interesting question. What was this man like? Hairy? A garment of hair and a leather belt around his waist? Does that sound like somebody in the New Testament too? Like by the name of John? While studying, I came across Luke 3:22, and to me it was interesting because it said the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, came down on Yeshua.
Hey, Linda.
You are my son, whom I love. I am well pleased with you. Then in 4:1, then Yeshua, filled with the Holy Spirit, was led out in the desert. Was led by the Spirit into the wilderness. My brother George is sitting across the table. George, did Eliyahu, Yochanan, or John and Yeshua each have to accept their calling? You might say, just as we have. They all had to say yes. That was just a sidetrack.
That was interesting.
Interesting tidbits.
Very interesting.
I guess it's a tidbit, whatever that is. That's what that was. Eliyahu or Elijah, part 2.
Part 2.
Last week we talked about Eliyahu going to a ravine for water. Birds feeding him, the widow feeding him with bread and water. We find Eliyahu building his altar and the people of Israel building theirs. Fire consumed the altar and everything around it at that time, and at that time of the evening offering. I thought that was kind of interesting in itself. Okay, we're going to start out with 18, verse 40. Is my sweetie's going to read.
18 verse 40. Elijah said to them, "Seize the prophets of Baal. Don't let one of them escape." They seized them, and Elijah brought them down to Valley Kishron and killed them there.
That's what happened right after the fire came down and consumed the altar and everything around it, and even dried up the water that was in the trench. And at the time of the evening meal, evening offering. And that's when this takes place. Eliyahu says, "Seize the prophets of Baal. Don't let one escape." The people did, and Eliyahu said, "Take them to the valley called Kishna and kill them there." Think about that. 450 prophets of Baal